thank you for joining us. Please tell us a bit about yourself and Tezlom.
Okay, my name's Ryan Armitage. I'm a director at Tezlom. We're a healthcare recruitment agency. I'm the franchisee, my franchisor. My mum started the business back in 2008. I joined her a little bit later on, and that's us in a nutshell, really.
Excellent. And then if you could narrow it down to just one thing, I know it's really hard, but what is your favourite thing about the franchise industry?
Mate, I don't know about you. Hands down, the best thing about the franchise industry is the community. Is the people get know each other. Everyone's friends. Everyone's got each other's backs. Everyone's just wanting to will each other on to help. Even franchisors to franchisor. Never mind the franchisor to franchisees. That's given.
And then what do you think the top 3 benefits of investing in a franchise are?
Top 3 benefits are number one, you're getting a business model that is proven, so you know it's going to work as long as you follow the plan. And number 2, you get to a franchise network to support you, so you've got other people going on the journey that you can share the journey with, because that's always something that I don't think everyone always thinks about straight away, but having a really nice franchise network to support you is good. And then obviously I think the third one is like, being passionate about the brand. So you need to find, obviously, deciding on the franchise, but being passionate about the brand, the values, what it stands for. Does it light you on fire inside?
Nice. Do you find that a lot with Tezlom franchisees when they first join you? Do you need them to sort of feel that affinity with the brand?
Yeah, I think everyone's like that, to be honest with you, Mark. I think everyone has to find the affinity with the brand. But for me personally, I definitely am very much a gut feeling man. So I obviously got your tick box of absolute musts in terms of like what they need to be able to do. But for me, it's definitely a gut feeling thing, and I think it shows when you've got all the franchise network together in the same room that everyone's like have the same energy and the same values and the way they act as people. I think it's because they've been through the onboarding process and been awarded a franchise by us, and we've looked after it the whole time.
This isn't on the list, but I'm genuinely interested. So you said about gut feel. Is there any like red flags that come up for you where you're talking to someone and then like they're all good, it's great, but there's like something they say or something they do that you think, not quite right?
I think my red flag is when they kind of drill home quite a lot about money. If they're constantly drilling home on about how much profit, how much money, when you're going to return your investment, if it's a constant driver of every conversation, I generally, to be honest with you, leave them, because it doesn't matter if the profit margin is 500% and you make £1 million every sale and every sale's really easy. If you're not passionate about the business, it doesn't matter, Mark. If you've got a job and you don't like your job and it pays you 300 grand a year, you'll get sacked eventually because you don't do a good job.
Okay, cool.
That's the fact.
What questions should someone ask themselves before they invest in a franchise?
I think the first thing is they need to know is, will they be able to be a good leader, or have they got an appetite for it? Because if you need to understand that you're going to be leading a business and you're going to be leading a team, and you have to act that way accordingly. They need to ask themselves, can they get online with the brand and the brand values and the team around it? And I always think that they need to really have a think about how hard they're going to work, because they're probably going to work harder than they've ever worked before and not be paid for it and be learning something new for the first 12 months. I think them 3 things, like, I'm prepared to work every hour that God sends and throw the kitchen sink at it and go through emotions. Am I willing to change and learn some leadership skills? And do I absolutely love this brand? And is everything I stand for as a person, is it an extension of me and how I believe my life should be?
Yeah, especially like knowing you, like I know brands like a really important part of it as well. You've mentioned it a few times already, so yeah. But I think with the way you work and the way you are and the way you put yourself across on social media, you're genuine and you're real, so people are attracted to that.
Yeah.
So do you find that people, when they come to talk to you, to talk to Tezlom and find out more about Tezlom, they already feel like they know you as a person?
Yeah, you don't. If they've seen me on LinkedIn or they've watched any of the podcasts, yeah, they automatically kind of feel me, and then it's quite nice when they relate to stuff they've seen as well. You can get into a conversation, into someone's ribs much quicker.
What can visitors gain from visiting the National Franchise Exhibition?
I think for me, visiting the National Franchise Exhibition is you get to, obviously you should do your research before you go of which brands are going to go, and I would pinpoint the ones that I definitely want to speak to. I would go with the intentions of asking about the brand and what it stands for and talking to the leaders in the business. But I feel like it also gives you a feel for the magic of franchising. You get to see the community aspect of it and who's there. You might get to speak to some franchisees, listen to some of the stages and what they've got to say, and have some honest and frank conversations with franchisees, franchisors, public speakers, bank people, consultants, solicitors. And that's what I would do. If I was looking at a franchise, I'd go to the Franchise Expo, I'd do my homework on which ones I definitely wanted to speak to, make sure they're speaking out loud and get to know them, and then do some rubbing around and talking with other brands as well and just get a feel for it. But yeah, it definitely, I think, gives you a taste of what it could be like to be in business in the franchise world.
What key questions should visitors ask you at the exhibition?
I personally think you should do a little bit of investigating before you go with who you want to speak to. And I would have a little bit of read of the brand on the website, maybe have a look on social media, and just go and introduce yourself and say, look, I've been looking online, I'm interested in one of your franchises, could you tell me a little bit more about it? I think the first thing you'd want to know is who am I going to be involved with, who's the people that are going to train and support me. Could you tell me a little bit about the brand values and what it stands for? And could you just explain the business in detail for me? And I think those three questions, I think any franchisor would really appreciate. If you walk up to them and say, how much is the investment level? Or how much money, how long will it take to get my return on investment? Or what's the profit margins? Or anything like that. It just shows the wrong intentions to me. I know those questions are really important, but again, if I go back to what I said before, is if none of it, it's all irrelevant if you're not doing any good at your job. If you don't like it and he's not passionate about it, it doesn't matter what the figures are. So it's irrelevant. I feel like if you're a franchisor, you're looking for them people who say, you know, I've had a look online, I like what you represent, could you just tell me a bit more about the business so I fully understand it? And then once you fully understand, okay, great, and how was it established and what your core values, and then could you tell me about the team and the training and how it starts, and could you tell me about that process? I think them things are all really important. And then once you feel the emotions around it, then okay, could you tell me how we make money and how does that work so that I understand that and what am I going to get out of it?
Yeah, nice, cool. Well, thank you so much for your time. That is all my questions.
Yeah.
Really appreciate you spending your time with me today. Thank you very much.
No problem, mate.